All right, folks. So, again, 112, still working on Unit 1 at this particular point. Still talking about Prince Henry the Navigator. And, a lot of people are confused. What's the motivation? Why are we looking for a new world? Why are we out there? Why are we exploring the great beyond? And it's as simple as the sugar in your Cheerios, folks. Um, People like food. We like to eat. We don't like our food boring. We like to have some spices. We like to have pepper in our papikas, right? We like to have sugar in our Cheerios. We like to have sugar. Well, hell, we live here in the South. We like to have sugar in our sweet tea. And without it, well, it's just not the same. And so this is part of it. Prince Henry is going to make his name as a fighter. He's going to make his name not as kind of a conquistador, but not quite a conquistador. He's going to be part of a movement in Spain, because Spain and Portugal are linked pretty close at this time. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they share some common interests. Well, he's going to help Spain in the Reconquista, right? And the Reconquista is the reuniting of Spain under Catholicism, under the Catholic banner. They have been working for a couple of hundred years to push the Moors. The Moors are going to be the Muslim crusaders, the Muslim conquerors who've come up from Africa in the south, and they've been slowly establishing parts of a Muslim caliphate, pushing up into Spain. And so they've been working for the last couple of hundred years to push them out. Well, he's going to make his name there. He's going to make his money and his title there. And then what he's going to do is he's going to launch this college of navigation. He's going to sponsor these trips. And what you have to remember is we're looking at the three G's. And the three G's are God, glory, and gold, right? That they're out there. These guys are going to be looking for glory because they want a name, they want a title, they want that nobility that might be bestowed on them for conquering and for finding and for claiming. They want the gold that often comes with it because, again, if you don't have land and title, then you have no money. And so they're looking for that. And of course, God's going to figure into this because wherever they're going, they're taking the church or the Catholic Church, the Christian Church with them, usually on the boat. So what's going to happen is Prince Henry is going to, excuse me, be responsible for creating new charts. Okay, he's going to be responsible for creating new maps that are eventually going to chart the entire west coast and then up the east coast of Africa to find new routes, to find new ports of trade, to find new items to trade along the way. And with that, you're going to see innovations. One of the things we're going to see really introduced and become a mainstay is going to be the compass. The magnetic needle compass is going to kick in here. When you combine that with the new charts, both wind charts as well as water charts and land maps, and then you're going to see the introduction of what's called the Latin sail. And the Latin sail is going to be important because it's going to catch the wind in a different way to make it, I hate to say economical because wind doesn't cost much, but it catches it in a better way, which, excuse me, when combined with the new type of ship called the Caravel. The Caravel. The Caravel is a ship that allows for a shallower draft. It sits not quite as deep in the water, so it's a little bit shallower draft, but a better carrying capacity for the size when combined with the Latin sail makes coastal exploration and trade more functional and more profitable. When you combine all these things together, boom, 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 with the new scientific deductions, when it comes to lands and it comes to charts and all this, we're going to see a huge expansion in trade. And part of that trade is, again, people wanting spices, wanting food, wanting silks. And so they're going to explore down that coast and attempt to sail up the other side. Well, this is important. It's important because it's profitable. It's profitable. And being as it's profitable, you're going to find more interest. We're going to be looking at the expansion of trade and trade as a vehicle for expansion of the empire and vice versa. And so we're going to see a couple of things happening here real quick. We'll talk about what's happening in Europe. What's going to happen in Europe is going to be an offshoot of the Renaissance is going to be kind of that faithquake effect I was talking about. Is we're going to see the Reformation be happening in Europe, which is going to tie up Europe largely for a while. But who's not going to be part of that is going to be Spain, because Spain is going to be struggling with the Reconquista. They're going to be struggling with pushing out the Moors, right? Pushing out Islam, reclaiming it, uniting it under one banner. That one banner is going to be the banner of Ferdinand and Isabella, the king and queen of Spain, the Catholic monarchs of Spain at this particular point. And the Reconquista will finally be accomplished. It'll be accomplished about 1491. Okay, think about that. 1491 is significant because what's going to happen is we're going to see not just Prince Henry looking at travel and exploration. We're going to see a variety of other folks and theories come up. One of those people that's going to come up in this time point is going to be a guy named Cristobal Colon, right? Cristobal Colon. And Cristobal Colon is Christopher Columbus. And Christopher Columbus is going to be petitioning the heads of Europe about setting up a journey of exploration. He says, look, we got to sail all the way down the coast of Africa, all the way up the other side of Africa, just to get to India, just to get to the Far East. And there's got to be a different way. Look, we have looked at what other people have written. We have looked at what the scientists have done. We've looked at what the explorers have done. There's got to be a faster way. And his theory is, look, we should be able just to go sail west. We should be able to sail straight west and reach there in a lot less time versus having to sail all the way down one coast and all the way up the other. Because we know at this point, we know that Vasco da Gama has sailed all the way down the coast of Africa, all the way up to the side, and found that Far East. He's found that port. He's found that area they've been searching for. The thing is, it's a long way to go. Okay, it's a long way to go regardless. And so a shorter route, more direct route would be more profitable because the amount of time you spend on the journey affects the profit. It's just fact. And so Columbus is going to be petitioning the heads, and he's going to run into the king and queen of Spain. And they're going to say, listen, we're right in the middle of this Reconquista thing right now. We really can't finance this, but come back to see us later. When we get caught up with this, come back to see us later. The people in Europe don't want much to do with it because they're struggling with the Reformation. They're in the middle of wars, and we'll talk about those shortly. What will happen, though, is with the Reconquista, with that reclaiming, with the explorations, thanks to Prince Henry the Navigator, Columbus is going to have a foothold. And so finally, when he is able to tap into Ferdinand and Isabella again, and they're going to go ahead and commission his ships. They're going to go and say, listen, we're going to take a risk. We're going to go ahead and send you out. Here's some cash. Here's some ships. Here's some people. Go do this and go out and explore in our name. We know that he is going to discover the New World. You can't discover someplace that people already live in, all right? It's not new to them. They already live there. But what he is going to do is run into not North America. People keep on telling me, he discovered North America. No, he never made it to North America. Heck, the boy thought he was in the West Indies. He wasn't in the West Indies. We know he was in the Caribbean. Okay, he discovers that. He creates some settlements. He creates, he establishes throughout several trips a foothold for the Spanish, and they claim the New World there, and that's huge. And if you look at the introduction, I think it's huge. He's going to document his journeys. He's going to have discovery. He's going to list a few things. Among the things of value, he says that could be good for them is the natives. He looks at the natives as a commodity that can be taken and sold. So again, we're talking about slavery. Well, listen, this foothold is established by Columbus. We're going to see successive journeys by what become the conquistadors, right? We're going to see the Spanish create settlements. And so I want to pick up talking about the Spanish settlements, but we also got to talk about the Native Americans who already lived there. So next up, the Aztecs.